Pause and practice activity Word 1-1. We'll begin this activity by creating a new Word document. I've already opened Word, so we'll go ahead and click on the blank document icon, and that'll bring us up to the main Word window. Next, we'll save the document by going to the File tab on the ribbon, and then we'll choose the Save As option. Then click Browse and locate where you want to save the file. In this case, I'm going to save it under Data Files and then under Word Chapter 1. And I'm going to give this the name as it's written in the instructions as my first initials, PPW1-1. I don't have to write the .docx here, because it says to save as type below this, and it will add the .docx to this. Next, click the Save button. We'll move on and create an autocorrect entry. Before we do this, I want to show you how autocorrect works. If I choose the Word document and type the word the, but misspell it, this will change this into the word the once I press the space bar. This can be a very useful tool if you incorrectly type things on a fairly regular basis. To add your own autocorrect entries, go to the File tab, then come to the bottom down here and choose Options. In the window that pops up, choose the Proofing option, and then the Autocorrect Options button. We'll make sure that the Autocorrect option is chosen. And then below, under the Replace word, we'll enter the word that we want to autocorrect. So this will be Cavalier. And then to the right of that, we'll choose the word that we want to replace it with, and then click the Add button. We'll go ahead and move out of the autocorrect options. So I'll click OK and then OK to get back to our document. We're next going to use the autocomplete to insert a date. So go ahead and I'll remove the word that I typed earlier. And I'll start typing the date, January 1st, 2023. Now I believe I made an error here and I typed a little too fast, so let me go ahead and erase this. Try it again. So it comes up and it says January if I were to press the Enter key, but that's not quite what I want. So I'll keep typing. And it thinks it wants to be today, so I'll just go ahead and I'll use that as our date. I'll then type Enter a couple of times to insert paragraph marks. And we're going to go ahead and enter some information here at the top of the document. I'm going to go ahead and pause this while I add these. So now that I have this information typed in, we'll go back and discuss how these paragraph markers work. So here, if I press the Enter key, you'll notice I have two spaces now between January and the first name of David. Here I only have I have no space between here. These are called line breaks, and these are called paragraph breaks. As before, I'm going to enter some more information, and this is going to be a paragraph, and I will pause the video while I do this. Now I didn't type the entire paragraph, I just started typing the first two sentences, and I stopped here at the end to show you that if you just continue typing, it will move this word down to the next line automatically. This is known as word wrapping. I'll go ahead here and finish typing the paragraph. We're going to next insert a non-breaking space. And you'll use this when you have two words that need to be next to each other that you don't want to be word wrapped. So here I'm going to insert this between the words estate and transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the space between those. This will move it down to the next line. Then I will enter a non-breaking space. So I press the Control-Shift and the space bar. And notice how the word estate moves down and stays at the bottom of this line. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish up the document. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a space. And we'll put best regards. And then we'll type the name Emma Cavali. Now I'm going to purposely not spell this correctly, and I'll press the space bar, and you notice it auto-corrects it. Then I'll press Shift Enter to keep it from moving down a paragraph, but just a line. And we'll type the rest of this. And Shift Enter, then places real estate. And then we're going to put your initials. Here I'm just going to type OBM. And I'll press the Shift Enter. But you'll notice that it auto-corrected the first letter of my initials to a capital. Now we don't want that. Here we can use an auto-correct option to adjust this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hover over my initials. And there's a tiny little blue line under the O. So I'm going to highlight that, and it brings up an autocorrect smart tag. And I'll click the down arrow here. And then I can choose Undo Automatic Capitalization. Now if I type my initials again, and I press Enter, notice that it does not capitalize it as it did before. Go ahead and undo this. And now we're going to continue, and we'll type the word enclosure. Finally, we'll save this document. We can do this in a couple of ways. I could press the Control key and the S together to save it. I could go up to the Quick Access toolbar here at the top and choose this little disk icon to save it, or I could go to the File tab and choose Save Here. I'll go ahead and I'll choose the Quick Access option. Alright, we are complete with Pause and Practice Activity Word 1-1.